So today I'd like to talk to you about one of the most important principles in Jiu Jitsu. It's a fundamental principle that Jiu Jitsu should be based on, and that principle is the idea of never contesting strength. In martial arts in general, particularly Jiu Jitsu, the gentle art, we're taught that we're able to deal with a bigger, stronger, more athletic, physical, aggressive opponent through the use of leverage, technique, a whole bunch of other strategies like the ability to remain calm in the storm, to breathe, to relax, to focus, and utilize technique and leverage basically to overcome the bigger, stronger, more athletic person. As I said, the principle that's often taught and preached in Jiu-Jitsu is the idea of never contesting strength. So if someone's bigger, stronger, and more athletic, I don't want to be butting heads with them. Just because I may be strong enough or athletic enough to overpower them or to compete with them, doesn't mean that I should. It's not good jiu-jitsu. It's not something you want to be doing. You don't want to get into a habit of doing so. And it's very easy to get drawn into that battle where, okay, I'm wrestling and moving around technically, and I'm trying to do something and my partner's resisting and I'm fighting them on it, trying to force my move. And the idea of jiu-jitsu, or at least jiu-jitsu when it's done well, and I'm not talking about a competitive sense because that can be a little bit different, is in good jiu-jitsu, you want to let your opponent pick their poison. So whatever mistake they make, that's what you're going to capitalize on, be able to hit the sweep, the submission, the guard pass, or whatever it may be. A classic example is if I'm playing closed guard bottom and someone's on top in good posture, you know, they're upright, head up, neutral spine, they've got good grips, that posterior pelvic tilt, and they've just got really strong base. The classic thing we're taught in Jiu-Jitsu when you're playing closed guard, and I believe it's correct, is the idea of breaking posture. You want to have a game, particularly in closed guard, where you're focused on the ability to break their posture, and so they're focused on regaining their posture rather than attacking sweeps, submissions, and various attacks from there. And it makes sense that we want to try and break their posture, use our arms, our legs, engage our abs, and pull them in close so we can start to get overhooks, underhooks, work our game, and play various techniques from there. The problem being, although technically it's correct to break posture, once someone's established strong base and posture, you find yourself in that tug of war. You're fighting, you're battling strength, and although you're doing the right thing theoretically when you're trying to break posture, you're sort of breaking a principle a lot of the time, and it's not really taught to us or explained to us in the way that it should be. If you think about someone who's upright and pulling back and strong, assuming they're bigger and stronger, and even if they're not, they're pulling back and upright and strong and stable base, and we're trying to pull forward against that. We're contesting strength. We're making a mistake or a fundamental mistake. We're breaking a principle of jiu-jitsu. It's much better to keep that idea in mind of breaking posture, but what you actually want to do is, if someone's pushing back really strong, you want to give them a little shove. Like I want to use my grips, maybe a hand in the collar or knuckles in the collarbone, and a little bit of a push. Moving up like I'm coming up on that Turkish get-up position, or coming up like I'm trying to sit up and hit a hip bump sweep. Maybe I open my guards and close my knees and push forwards with my knees, or put a foot on shoulder and shove them back. What I want to have them is going from in this upright posture position to be like, whoa, getting knocked backwards and sort of coming forwards. Something else that really works well is another piece of the puzzle when people are playing jiu-jitsu is they're always thinking when I'm playing guard, I want to sweep and submit. And you forget the other piece, which is the ability to stand back up. In jiu-jitsu, when I'm playing the bottom position, I always want to be able to sweep, submit, and stand back up. So if you are scrambling and playing good movement in guard, anytime there's not pressure downwards holding you, pinning you, and forcing you to play that guard, you're going to be looking to get back up to your knees. Be a technical stand-up, sort of snap down, push, pull, however you're doing to create that little opening to get you back up. When you start to do this, what you'll realize is that your partner's not just going to be focused on base and posture, because it's too easy for you to push and get up with a technical stand-up. Now they've got to think, okay, I've got to maintain base and posture, but I've also got to keep you down on the ground, which means I'm going to put forward pressure pinning you. And when they're putting forward pressure, it's actually a lot easier for you to try and draw them in, get them to create those frames and damage their structure and bring them in and break their posture. So you're doing what I like to jokingly refer to as lazy man's jiu-jitsu. I'm making them do all the work. I don't want them pulling back and fighting me on everything. I want them pushing forwards, driving in, using weight and pressure, so when I collapse their frames, they're already falling forwards and I'm able to add my strength to their strength, in effect, creating a much more efficient movement. I'm not contesting strength. We're both going the same way. I'm helping him do what he wants to do and he's helping me do what I want to do. So I hope you find that helpful, the idea of just being mindful of not contesting strength. If my partner's passing my guard, for example, passing to my left or to their right, A lot of the times we fight to scramble and come back inside. Again, using that same principle, if they're passing in that direction, I generally want to move them in that direction. Like I want to hip out to the other side, I want to push them, keep their head and their center line off to the other side. And that way it's going to be very hard for them to establish side control or dominant position. So please try and keep in mind the idea of never contesting strength. Don't just pay it lip service. Try and really learn and start to apply it in everyday jiu-jitsu.